My name is Outsider2522 and welcome to another Idleon video. Today we're going to be looking at the latest expansion in farming, land ranks, how that might work for you, and why I believe this update is OP. Let's talk about it. Almost forgot to drop my usual plug. So recently, I've been looking into my videos. Over 50% of people who watch them are not subscribed. It costs you nothing to hit that button. Do it for me, please. Help this channel to grow. I really appreciate it. Okay, so land ranks, how do we unlock them? So the first thing you need to do is get enough crops to trade with the legumuli for 80 magic beans. This is the cost for unlocking land ranks. I recommend doing it as quick as possible because it is a system that you need to level up. So the quicker you start earning XP, the quicker you're going to get land ranks. What will happen is every time you pick a crop, you will get land rank XP. The way this works is each crop type starts off with, so the first crop will be worth 1 base XP per crop harvest, all the way down to glassy, which I believe is the 6th crop, so 6 XP, 6 base XP. The XP is affected by OG bonuses, so if you have 2 times OG on the first crop, you're going to get 2 land rank XP, okay? I'm not entirely sure exactly how it scales, and the reason is because later on you're going to get crazy amounts of XP and it becomes very, very hard to actually see because there's so many moving parts. Now, the main bonus of the land rank database is that it gives you extra OG chance, which you're going to need because you want more crops. It's going to give you more chance for crop evolution, which is great because Lava just added 40 new glassy crops, and the crop multiplier needed is very high. It's going to give you extra land rank XP bonus, which is great for getting more land ranks, to spend more points in the database to get more gains, farming XP, and the other one it can give you is more crops per harvest. So the crop value goes up. Alright, they're all very, very good bonuses. And generally what happens is as you go further into the database, you get upgraded versions of skills. The lower ones are normally better. There is one exception. The final OG skill is not as good as the one before it. I think it's a bug, but I'm not sure. Just be wary of that. So you might want to spend more time in the OG Mega Boost rather than the OG Super Boost. Another thing that gets unlocked with land ranks is some sort of passive bonuses that affect other parts of the game. These are great. They're the final one on each string of the database. So the first one gives you 2% sneaking bonus per toon based around your farming level. This is going to really, really help with those later mastery ones where going further just seems impossible. I'm not saying it's going to fix the sneaking problem, but it's going to help with it. The next bonus is 10% drop rate. Drop rate is great. You've heard me talk about it many, many times. After that, we get damage. It depends where you are in the game. Late game, not really important at all. But early game, 20% extra damage might be a good thing. And the final one is an all-stat bonus. I haven't managed to unlock this yet because it needs 3,500 land ranks. That's substantial, alright? I will say I have bought 18 of the fertilizer boosters to get as far as I have, which is an extra, what does that work out as? 80 minus 8, 72 hours of crop time. Okay, so I felt that was worthwhile on my initial investment, just to give me a boost to get further into this system. Okay, now the system in my opinion works very similar to the recent clicker upgrades in that you can kind of tag it in any way that suits you. However, I can talk you through my sort of approach of what I thought would make the most sense. So, I really wanted to push the new crops. The main reason is more crops means you can get more crops at 1k, which means you get bigger boosts. Alright, later on you can get more crops at 100k, which is going to give you the super GMO, even bigger boost, okay? These all are reflected on the night garden, so depending on how far you're in the night garden as to how much of a gain you're going to get from it, but definitely worthwhile in my opinion. The other one was OG. The reason is if we're pushing more speed, we're going to have more time where we're not collecting, which means you need OG multipliers to kind of even that time where you're not picking instantly. And my third main one was land rank XP. I kind of ignored farming XP for now, and the reason is I wanted to get as many land ranks as possible. What I then look to do is once I made it to the final row of boosts, which I believe is somewhere, I want to say somewhere around about 1500 land ranks. I then reset my database. I used my weekly reset and I changed it, and I used the later bonuses more heavily. The reason is they just give better value for money other than the OG one, like I've said before. A little thing to be aware of is at around about level 200 you will start seeing diminishing returns on them, so you might need to play around with the lower ones, because at level 200 you might find that actually you get more gains from using a lower level one, just because the diminishing returns can hit quite hard. And that's kind of the idea of where I was going for. So really looking at the new crop chance, OG and land rank XP to begin with. As you go further down, value for crop is also going to be really, really useful. By the time you get many land ranks, you can kind of spread it out more evenly, again because of that diminishing returns. But they're the sort of areas I would focus on. In terms of it, that's kind of how land rank works. That's kind of what I would look to do. But I do have another little tidbit for you. So this was kind of brought up to me by Zorro. You've probably heard about it, talked about it many, many times. He's the guy who does the weekly battle guides for people. And he's really, really changed the way that I do bean harvesting. So previously, I was a big fan of collecting all your crops, handing them in and getting some beans, then insta-growing a plot, handing it in for beans, insta-growing the next one, handing it for beans. He actually corrected me and pointed out that what you can actually look to do is get all of your crops to your final crop type, so as far into glassy if you can as possible. You will then hand in your bean. You will then wait a couple of days, although I tend to leave it most a day, but obviously it's down to how long you want to wait, how good your OG is. Leave it and let your crop OG accumulate. Once you're at a good place, you will hand in your tickets to claim your beans, and you will be left with loads of plots at OG. You will then claim each plot individually and hand it in for a ticket. Now I understand this can be confusing, so I've actually made a video of myself doing it for you as a reference that'll be running in the background. So just in case you aren't sure of what I'm saying, it's there. This can really, really help to maximize your gains, because you're just going to get so many beans per ticket. I think in the video I was doing, I was getting between 70 and 100k per ticket. So definitely worthwhile doing it that way. Another little bit of information which Windclaw reminded me of is that when you come to lock plots, you don't actually have to lock plots. If you go to crop info, you can lock plots. This is something I do when I get to high speeds. If I need to cycle to the next crop in order to buy an upgrade, for example, then I would use crop info to claim and lock, or claim and unlock single plots as I go down, and that way I can manipulate what crop I'm getting next, help with those day market upgrades. So it's a really, really valuable tool to have in your pocket, and it's a lot quicker to access than going into the locked one, unlocking it, claiming it, all that sort of stuff. So definitely worth knowing. Now you might be wondering why I've declared this as OP. It seems to only really impact the amount of crops you've got. The reason is that there are some bubbles that rely on your crops. Historically, these were near impossible to level up. However, now people have got them into the range where we know you cannot atom them. People are earning billions of crops in a couple of minutes, maybe a couple of hours, and they are spending them on those bubbles. These include things like damage to doors while sneaking rating, okay, things that are going to really, really help with those higher masteries in sneaking, which otherwise people were taking weeks, if not months, to smash through the doors. So this is a huge, huge update, and really, really broke open farming from one of the slowest skills in the game to potentially one of the quickest. Okay, I think that's all the information I have for you guys. Obviously, if you do want to know what each specific bonus is, feel free to check out the wiki. I will link it below. Idleon Toolbox also has it in their interface. So definitely easy to go and find out those numbers. I don't want to just quote numbers that are readily available to you. This is my take on it. These are the tips which I've used to try and push myself further. Obviously, I'd love to hear any information that you might have, any strategies you've got, anything that's helped with your process in the comments below. So please feel free to hit me up. Obviously, as always, thank you very much for watching. You've been amazing. Take care.